I just came back. I'm actually returning from the movie theater where I watched a pretty amazing film, Aladdin, which I wholeheartedly recommend. I think it's some of the best, most entertaining 2 hours you'll spend this week. Well worth it. I never really saw the original Disney cartoon. Disney very cleverly has been releasing live action versions of older cartoons, and of course it's become facile because of the advances in animation and CGI. So it's, as with any Disney movie, you can expect a certain level of excellence. First of all, it's brilliantly cast. As I said, I haven't watched the cartoon version, so my one regret is that I haven't seen what Robin Williams did with the role of the genie. I'm pretty sure he was brilliant as always, and whenever I think of Robin Williams, I'm afraid I'm going to go off in a tangent right now because I'd like to pay a small tribute to this brilliant actor who I've thought so many times that gave so freely of himself to the world, to us, everyone, was such a unique talent, and we were very lucky that he entertained us for so many years. And for the role of the genie, as with any other role he played, it's well known that he improvised quite a lot. Speaking of going into tangents, he was a master of going into tangents, brilliant tangents. And continuing on my own tangent about Robin Williams, it's pretty amazing how many clues, how many prophetic clues actually, and self-fulfilling, I guess, he gave of his deep depression, his suicidal tendency. And I remember I wasn't very far from where I'm walking right now, maybe 20 minute walk from here, when I learned of his passing a few years ago. And it was truly one of those, I remember it now, one of those moments where you remember exactly where you were and what you were doing, and it's just because of the emotional impact, because he was a truly beloved entertainer. I don't, of course, never met him or knew what he was really like as a person, but there's no fooling people. Everyone says he was a kind person, and it's like they say, you can't fool everyone or many people for a long time. I think it was Lincoln who said something to that effect. So he must have been a good guy, a nice guy. Obviously very shy, introverted, with troubled interpersonal personal relationships and interpersonal difficulties. But overall, just a nice, kind, and of course brilliant man. But what I've always wondered from a more a medical point of view, because I mean he was well known to have self-medicated. I mean, back then, especially when he was coming up in the 70s, cocaine was, rampant. I mean, I'm sure it's still rampant among entertainers and celebrities. I mean, you've probably heard how Kathy Griffin recently exposed that guy who does the Desperate Housewives show, Andy Cohen, for offering her blow in his office. But especially back then, it was not even a well-kept secret. It was, it was a badly kept secret. I mean, Martin Scorsese is known to have ended a series of interviews at Cannes by saying that, I'm sorry, I'm out of cocaine, so no more cocaine, no more interviews. Today it's a little more kept under wraps. But anyway, what I meant to say relative to Robin Williams is I don't know how much that cocaine abuse possibly, I haven't researched it, affected his brain chemistry and perhaps had some relation to his devastating diagnosis. He'd been diagnosed with Lewy body dementia, which is a combination of Parkinson's disease and dementia. So that, in combination with the depression he'd been suffering from his whole life, drove him over the edge. So I don't know if the cocaine and the alcohol and whatever else he was intermittently abusing had to do with his diagnosis. But anyway, that all began from Alladin, and see, I always think that I have nothing to say about a movie, and here I am close to home and I haven't even started on the movie, and so I might have to do a second video about Alladin, because what amazes you when you see these myths, basically, because Alladin is based on a myth, of course, and the Arabian Nights and so on. It amazes you how much of the human experience is encapsulated in these myths, and of course, the hero's journey, which was so well described by Joseph Campbell, and which used to be a male journey, but today we see the female version coming to the fore more and more. Anyway, I should stop here because I'm close to home. Maybe I'll do another review because it's well worth it. There's so much wisdom in this myth.